I ran into a former high school classmate, Lucy, who used to dislike me at a friend's engagement party. Lucy, upon meeting my wife Olivia, asked her with a malicious smile, "Why on earth did you marry this guy?" As Olivia looked uncomfortable, she said, "My husband is an elite department head. I'd love to see your shabby workplace." Haha. Lucy only knew me as a poor student who used to juggle multiple part-time jobs during our school days. She couldn't shake off that image and assumed I was being financially supported by Olivia. Feeling uneasy, I decided to leave the party. I picked up my belongings after saying goodbye to Lime, who had invited us. "It's me who should introduce you to my husband's workplace." At that moment, it wasn't me who retaliated against Lucy but my wife. "I am Mark Parker. I'm the CEO of a spa and hotel called Lusso means luxury in Italian. My intention is to provide a luxurious experience at Lu for those overwhelmed by work, home responsibilities, and parenting. Currently, I'm 40 years old, and my hobby is watching anime. The quality of recent anime is so impressive. Each episode feels like a movie. I have a wife, Olivia, who is 5 years younger than me, and 3 daughters. My eldest daughter just started elementary school this spring. Olivia often tells me, "You need to dress more like a CEO," since I'm not concerned about fashion. But my old habits of frugality persist. I find it hard to wear high-end brands. I'm happy with lunches under $10 and love the $1 coffees from supermarkets. That's why people are always surprised when they first learn I'm a CEO. Olivia is also a business owner. She opened a specialty store for hypoallergenic jewelry inspired by her own metal allergy. Her savvy promotion on social media quickly led to her earning $100,000 a month. I often take her stylish photos for outings. When I share stories like these, people often say, "You must have led a glamorous life, or were your parents wealthy?" But that's not the case. I grew up in a very poor family. Even before I was born, my father was a heavy gambler, and my mother struggled a lot. My mother worked from dawn till dusk every day, taking care of both the nursery drop-offs and pickups, as well as all the household chores. It was almost like living in a single-parent household, yet she never gave up on my father, hoping he would reform. However, one day my father suddenly disappeared, taking with him my mother's savings. Our already poor life became even harder. As a child, I vaguely understood the situation, so I never asked for toys or sweets and was used to being looked down upon at school. When I reached high school, I started working at a bar. I can finally help my mom, I thought. I'm thrilled to be able to support the household finances, I thought, filled with happiness. However, my grades plummeted due to my daily grind at part-time jobs. Days went by where I was constantly overcome by drowsiness during class and hardly ever submitted my homework properly. Yet I prioritized my part-time job. My homeroom teacher, who knew about my family situation, didn't scold me, but the other teachers made me stay after school as a punishment. While I was doing homework alone after school, Lucy, a classmate, walked in. Lucy rarely came to school, but she was still popular because she was a fashion model. She had been appearing in magazines and children's TV shows since elementary school. Everyone in our hometown expected Lucy to become a superstar in the future. It seemed Lucy had also been ordered to stay after school. I secretly celebrated inside. I never imagined I'd get to do homework with a celebrity. We were alone for an hour until Mr. Johnson came back. Lucy's hair was fluffy and smelled nice. I was overwhelmed by her model-like aura. But my joy was crushed within 5 minutes. Lucy pushed her homework onto me. "Please take care of this. Here's a sample," she said, handing me a notebook with only a few pages written. "Make sure your handwriting looks like mine so it doesn't get caught," she instructed, then took out a magazine from her bag and started intently looking at her own pages. She was nothing but a spoiled diva. I was angry with her, but not wanting to cause trouble in our relationship. I also did Lucy's homework. Days like this continued, and about a week later, as I was quickly finishing my homework to start on Lucy's, Mr. Johnson suddenly entered the room. Lucy, who was touching up her makeup on the desk, looked panicked. Mr. Johnson approached me and picked up the homework. I thought something was off. It's the same handwriting as Mark's. I had tried to mimic Lucy's handwriting, but to Mr. Johnson, it seemed identical to mine. I had messed up. Lucy glared at me, clicking her tongue. Being rarely at school and now caught skipping detention homework, Lucy faced a 2-week suspension. I thought, all that for this, but I later heard that a bag check revealed forbidden snacks and cosmetics in her bag. Lucy's suspension quickly turned into bad rumors. In an era without cell phones, rumors spread from mouth to mouth, transforming as they went. TV stations and magazine editors who disapproved of Lucy's school behavior started canceling contracts with her. With no work left, Lucy began attending school every day. Even without modeling jobs, her beauty and glamorous appearance made her popular at school. However, blaming me for the start of her troubles, Lucy began to harass me. She threw my bag into the rainy schoolyard, intentionally dropped my lunch on the floor, and even caused a scene at my part-time job, making me pay for her expenses. Come on, poor boy, treat me with your meager earnings. Gradually, I couldn't stand the cold stares from my coworkers and quit. Then I started doing light work from home. The pay was shockingly low. This won't help with living expenses at all. I felt downcast, but my mother encouraged me, saying, "People who are mean to others will eventually face karma. A fun life awaits after you graduate from high school." I finally graduated from high school and became a college student. Just the fact that Lucy wasn't there made me happy. But I found it hard to trust those around me, remaining isolated during lunch breaks. With my mother also busy every day, leaving no time to go out together, I wondered how to spend my time. When I stumbled upon an advertisement for a job vacancy at a resort hotel, I had never traveled except for school events. Out of curiosity, I applied and to my surprise, received a call immediately saying, "We look forward to having you start next week." The part-time work at the resort hotel changed my life. I started off with behind-the-scenes tasks like cleaning guest rooms, then moved on to front desk staff and pool lifeguard, experiencing various jobs while moving between resort locations. There were so many family smiles, an extraordinary atmosphere, and a sense that just being there excited me. Since it was a short-term job, the absence of stress from interpersonal relationships was a plus. I saved my earnings and presented my mother with her first trip. During the trip at a famous spa and hotel, she smiled happily the entire time. At that moment, I vowed, from now on, I will work hard to afford my mother a life of luxury. From my second year of college, I began studying business management in earnest while working at the resort hotel. I traveled to hotels and resorts nationwide for research. Upon graduating, I started my own business with investment from backers. I opened the hotel in Sposo and implemented various initiatives, such as offering single mothers and their children a 50% discount and giving students who work for 3 hours a day pay plus a spa pass. As soon as social media emerged, I focused on advertising there, making sure not to fall behind the times. Thanks to that, 15 years later, the company has grown to an annual revenue of $350 million. This is my life. Today is my daughter's school observation day. She's a first grader at the well-known international school nearby. I couldn't attend the entrance ceremony due to work, so I was determined to go today no matter what. Olivia, wearing her new dress, looked stunning. Arriving at school, I saw parents dressed in brand-name clothes entering the classroom. I should have bought new clothes too, I regretted as I went to the bathroom. I'm going to the bathroom before heading to the classroom. It's class 13. I'll go ahead and chat with the other moms. After using the bathroom, I headed to classroom 13. I could see my daughter from the hallway. Her posture was straight, and her slightly nervous expression was adorable. As I moved to stand next to Olivia, I saw Lucy among the parents. No way, I thought. I never imagined I'd have anything to do with Lucy again, yet there she was, chatting amiably with Olivia. Would she notice me if I went now? I decided to stand in a corner out of Lucy's sight. The class observation ended without me ever standing by my wife's side. I was moved by my daughter's presentation yet anxious about being noticed by Lucy. I met up with my wife at the school gate. I wanted us to sit together. Sorry, it was about to start when I got back from the bathroom, and I didn't want to walk in front of everyone. Well, I have to go pick up the little one from daycare. I had to return to work, so Olivia and I parted ways. As I was leaving the school to call a taxi, I heard Lucy's voice. "Isn't that Mark? Were you hiding from me since the observation started?" It seemed I had been noticed. Lucy, arms crossed and looking angry, glared at me just like before, unchanged from our high school days. "Long time no see. You're still being supported by your wife, aren't you?" Lucy spoke to me even though I was in a hurry for a meeting. When the taxi arrived, I hurriedly got in. On the way to the office, unpleasant memories from high school flooded my mind. One night during the week, when I got home, there was an invitation to my high school friend Liam's engagement party on the desk. Liam and I didn't talk much in class, but we worked at the same part-time job and often went home together. To my surprise, the venue was Lusso. If I received an invitation, it likely means all our high school classmates were invited. I definitely didn't want to go. I decided to send a gift to Liam's home instead. As I was about to mark will not attend on the invitation, Olivia suggested, let's go together. Olivia hadn't met me until after I started my business, so she didn't know what I was like in high school. I want to meet Mark's friends. Her eyes sparkled so much that I couldn't say no. On the day of the engagement party, I told the staff at Luso not to mention that I'm the CEO, as I didn't want to be probed by my classmates. Olivia picked out a fancy suit for me to wear. The party was on a Sunday, and since our daughters were also free, we attended as a family. When we arrived, many of my classmates were already there. It felt odd to see the familiar staff and made me a bit nervous. Mark, it's been so long. Thanks for coming. Congratulations on your wedding. It's great to see you. Liam, whom I hadn't seen since high school graduation, was as refreshing as ever, and his wife seemed kind. While we were eating, women gathered around Olivia. Are you Olivia? I always see your SNS, they said, buzzing about her metal allergy-friendly jewelry shop. My wife is popular everywhere, shining brightly. Then Lucy joined them. Why did you marry this guy? Her cheeks were red, perhaps from drinking. Lucy flatly sat next to me. He's always been poor and unattractive and unfashionable. I can't believe he's married. Is that so? I don't know much about the past, Olivia replied with a troubled look. Lucy asked the surrounding classmates. He was super unfashionable, right? There must have been someone better, right? You make so much from your jewelry. Could you please stop bothering my wife? Why? Lucy bragged about her high-end accessories and the wallet her husband gave her. While she was engrossed in the conversation, she turned to me and said, my husband is an elite department head. I'd love to see your lowly workplace. Haha. I was furious that Lucy could say such awful things in front of our daughters. Thinking of leaving, I grabbed my things to say goodbye to Liam. But then, my husband's workplace. Let me introduce you, Olivia said loudly. Everyone in the venue turned to look at us. We headed to the top floor of the hotel in the elevator. The office is located on the upper floors where I and the full-time employees work. The elevator ride with Lucy, Liam, his wife, and a few classmates felt suffocating. My wife's back, standing in front of me, seemed larger than usual. We arrived at the CEO's office. Everyone was confused, asking, what's going on? My secretary, who rushed over, unlocked the door. As we entered the spacious office, exclamations of wow were heard. Mark is the CEO of Luso, Olivia announced. She did so with such pride, as if she herself were the CEO. The collective gasp of wow from everyone was directed at me. I felt the same wow towards Olivia. Olivia, who is usually calm and never gets angry, had a rare stern look on her face. No one who insults my husband will be forgiven, even if they are a mom friend, Olivia said. I wasn't really insulting him, Lucy said, sweating and looking flustered. All the funding for my jewelry brand, our living expenses, and our daughter's tuition fees have been paid by my husband, Olivia said, clutching my hand and pressing close to me. Her hand was trembling. Was she mustering all her courage to protect me? That's why, even though everyone says I'm amazing, the truly amazing person is my wife. The CEO's office fell silent. Even the main couple, Liam and his wife, froze. I felt sorry, but at the same time, I also felt a sense of satisfaction. What's that? Showing off, Olivia? You're getting unusually passionate, Lucy continued, trying to deflect. Olivia puffed her cheeks and pulled my hand, saying, let's just leave it be. Just when the party atmosphere turned awkward, the host guided everyone to the pool area. This is my favorite space. Luso's pool is filled with amenities enjoyable even for babies. Actually, it was my mother's idea. When I was a baby, we spent a lot of time together, but there weren't many places to play since I couldn't run or swim yet. It's the period when you can be closest to your child, yet there's not much to experience. Hearing her say this made me feel lonely, so I made sure we had plenty of kids' pools. The children of my classmates, including my daughters, changed into their swimsuits and played to their heart's content. Feeling responsible for ruining the party atmosphere, I treated everyone to ice cream. Looks like CEO Parker's secret is out, the shop staff said, chuckling as they approached me. More like my wife let it slip. Ah, your wife's love for CEO Parker is incredible. It's already the talk among the staff. Though I dislike gossip, the story of Olivia defending me spreading around wasn't unwelcome. Seeing Lucy, she was eating the ice cream I treated, chatting with classmates. That sight reignited my anger. Isn't Olivia super rude? We went to the same school, but she's always had a bad way of speaking. That's the worst, complaining about a mom friend she's usually close with. Is this also my fault? But I wanted to say something back. As I approached, thinking this, a group of running boys crashed into Lucy, causing the ice cream she was holding to fall on her dress. Ah, my favorite dress. Lucy tried to wipe off the ice cream stain, pulling a handkerchief from her bag. Simultaneously, her wallet flew out of her bag and into the pool. Lucy reached out for her wallet in a frenzy. Splash! Lucy fell into the pool, causing water to splash everywhere. Staff members and a few classmates rushed to the pool. All the classmates quietly watched the scene. With her back to everyone, Lucy exited the pool and was led by the staff to the fitting room. To turn around the tense atmosphere, the host started a bingo competition. As soon as the bingo started, everyone got engrossed as if nothing had happened, eagerly following the numbers. After the bingo, Olivia and I went to Liam and his wife's table. I can't believe Mark is the CEO of this hotel. I'm glad you chose Luso for the party venue. Sorry for the awkward atmosphere though. It's my fault for inviting Lucy. Don't worry about it. We had a great time reminiscing about our days working part-time jobs. Liam saying he missed me after I left the job was really nice to hear. I wish I had kept in touch better. Maybe we could have been closer. Seeing Liam's wife in her dress, I was reminded of my own wedding with Olivia. Originally, Olivia worked as a hall staff in Luso's restaurant. One day, while I was cleaning the restaurant, Olivia offered me her own spray cleaner, saying, "This spray works better at cleaning off dirt." Unaware that I was the CEO, she simply wanted to help. Don't you use the hotel's cleaner? The hotel's cleaner works fine, but don't you want things to be extra shiny? She said, smiling broadly as she explained about the spray. It was amusing and interesting that a part-time worker would bring her own cleaning spray. I could feel her love for Luso. Without revealing that I was the CEO, I enjoyed chatting with Olivia a few times a week while we cleaned together. I even introduced Olivia's recommended spray into the hotel's cleaning routine. One evening after work, I invited Olivia to a suite room in the hotel. Olivia was surprised by the luxurious meal, bouquet, and gift. I took out a ring and proposed to her, confessing my feelings at the same time. That was when I first revealed that I was the CEO. I have been so rude to CEO Parker all this time. I love you for being honest and hardworking, Olivia said. After thinking it over, Olivia said, "I'd love to," and placed the ring on her finger. As I was lost in these fine memories, Lucy returned to the venue. She had changed into a dress sold at the hotel shop. Gathering everyone's attention, she walked straight towards me. Olivia is really the worst, so tactless and selfish. I'll tell the mom friends about this next week. My wife did nothing wrong. The one lacking manners is you. Lucy's downfall was merely the result of her own actions coming back to her. The room dimmed for the cake-cutting ceremony. Focusing on Liam and his wife, we gathered around the cake, capturing the moment of cutting in photos. Our daughters were delighted as the sliced cake was served. Then the final event, opening presents. Liam and his wife began opening the presents they received from everyone. They reacted happily to various gifts like bath bombs, dishes, and aromas. Then they opened a present chosen by Olivia and me. It was a set of slightly upscale seasonings. Wow, I'm so happy. I love cooking and will use this every day. That's great. You were always good at cooking, even when we were working at the pub. Liam Lucy muttered under her breath. Is that all from the CEO? She's relentlessly unpleasant. Actually, we have one more gift, I announced, borrowing a microphone to stand in front of everyone. A stay in Luso suite room. Why don't you stay tonight? Really? Are you serious? That's awesome. It's a wedding gift. Everyone in the venue clapped. Way to go, CEO Parker. Luso is the best. I want to have my engagement party at Luso too. Voices chimed in. I could tell even without looking that I probably had a triumphant look on my face. I just wanted to see Lucy's frustrated face. I asked the staff to prepare a suite room. Sorry to take up your time. Let's open Lucy's gift next. Mine can wait. Don't you all want to see it? I asked the crowd, and they responded with a yes. I wondered what luxurious item Lucy, who had called my gift lame, had chosen. Liam and his wife opened it in front of everyone. It was a set of matching pajamas. Thank you, we'll use them. a highly popular limited edition pajama set from a high-end brand. Following the seasonings, this would have surely elicited applause, but it couldn't compare to a stay in the hotel's suite room. Typical Lucy, always with good taste, I said, deliberately praising her. I didn't want to stoop to her level by criticizing her. Lucy was left speechless. With the presents opened, the party came to a close. Are you sure we can stay? Thank you so much. Of course, if anyone should be thankful, it's me. The bond with my wife deepened. Though I had wanted to keep my presidency a secret, I realized it could actually bring happiness to others as a strength. And maybe, just maybe, I had managed to outdo Lucy a bit. We were taking the commemorative photo in front of the hotel on our way back. Then, outside the entrance, there was a man waving at us, heading in our direction. He was wearing sweatpants and sandals with hair that looked like he had just woken up. Who does he belong to? Everyone murmured, looking around. Lucy, stop it, she protested as the man approached. What's this? You said your clothes were wet, so I rushed to bring you a change. Oh, it's already over. Cut this, Lucy's husband, the supposed elite department head. His fashion was the complete opposite of high-brand lover Lucy, decidedly more down-to-earth, practically loungewear, or rather, it looked more like something one would wear around the house. Seeing Lime, Lucy's husband said, "Congratulations on your wedding. My wife has been in your care." I handed him my business card. "You're the hotel CEO. Well, that's amazing." "Sorry, I don't have my card on me," he apologized. "You're a department head, right?" Actually, my company went bankrupt, and I'm currently a freelancer." This unexpected revelation made it feel as if time had stopped for the classmates gathered for the photo. Lucy's face turned red, and she remained silent. "Mark, our daughters are in the same class, right?" "Unfortunately, we might have to transfer schools," he shared, hinting at their struggle to find work and pay rent. Lucy's family is barely making ends meet with help from her parents, and they feel guilty enough to consider moving to a smaller apartment. However, the clothes Lucy wears always look expensive. The gifts she gives must cost tens of thousands of dollars each. That's unfortunate. Lucy always dresses so stylishly. Your clothes look expensive. She hunts for brand items on flea market apps. Shut up, just stop. Lucy, tears streaming, grasped her husband's arm. Even I could tell that was a bombshell statement. I just meant she's good at shopping. The worst? Don't come home tonight. A sudden argument broke out between the couple. I wished they would stop, especially in front of the newlyweds. Liam met his wife, and Lucy, in anger, left in the car her husband had arrived in. Left behind, her husband stood alone, looking lost. Would you like to have coffee? I offered to speak with Lucy's husband. After graduating from high school, Lucy wanted to pursue modeling again and joined a companion agency. However, it was difficult to get into a major agency, so she gave up on modeling and became a receptionist in an office building. That's when she met her current husband at a mixer. Her husband appears to be quite timid and fell for Lucy's confident demeanor. However, he realized after they got married that what he thought was confidence was actually just selfishness. Their child's difficulty integrating with mom friends led to multiple school transfers. Despite financial struggles, Lucy couldn't let go of her pride and relied on her parents for financial support. Since the company went bankrupt, instead of cutting back, she's been spending even more recklessly. Apparently, she even started dipping into the children's birthday money savings. Hearing such a tragic story made me feel sorry for her husband. Have you considered divorce? I don't want to be separated from my daughters, so I'm desperately job hunting. A part-time job salary is insufficient for family support. To lead a normal life, a decent income is necessary. You were a manager before, right? In what field? A menu design company for restaurants. An idea struck me. Would you like to work at Lusso as a full-time employee? Really? Can I? I have been thinking about expanding Lusso with a cafe. Most cafes and restaurants offer limited kids menus. A wider variety of balanced meals would surely make both moms and kids happy. However, due to staffing shortages, I had postponed this plan. I'd like your help with the cafe expansion. Could you lend us your knowledge and experience? Lucy's husband immediately responded with a yes. I wanted to help him not just as Lucy's husband but as a man and a father. Ironically, this felt like the best revenge against Lucy. Months later, Lucy's husband thrived at the company, leading the cafe project from operations to menu design. Since the engagement party, Lucy stopped talking to Olivia, though their children remained friends. Repairing adult relationships is hard. They moved from a high-rise apartment to a 50-year-old apartment building. The international school requires considerable expenses, so her husband's salary is primarily spent on their child's needs. For me, not much has changed. If there's anything different since the engagement party, it's that my love for Olivia has deepened. Ever since our child was born, she mentioned how dealing with mom friends can be tough because you have to conform. Yet she stood up for me in front of those mom friends. Being able to marry Olivia and having our daughter are the greatest joys of my life. And being able to lead such a wonderful life is also all thanks to my mother. After a long while, I took a week off and went back to my family's home with my family. The concept of home used to be the norm for me, and hotels felt special. But at some point, that feeling reversed. Next time, I'll create a hotel that feels like a home away from home.